Okay.
I need booze.
To call Hawking mindless is to agree with his own hypothesis. This isn't a verbal snipe at Hawking, by the way. It is a highly accurate description of his own beliefs, practically in his own words, as you will soon see. To further support the notion that human beings are all biochemical robots with no minds and no free will, he offers a rather faulty argument, saying the following. A study of patients undergoing awake brain surgery found that by electrically stimulating the appropriate regions of the brain, one could create in the patient the desire to move the hand, arm, or foot, or to move the lips and talk. From this, he leaps to the conclusion that we have no free will.
Whoa. How? Notice that Mike stopped the quote right there and then said he jumps to this conclusion. He is really taking quotes of Hawking and just... He really is doing 2 + 2 = pi here.
Yeah.
2 + 2 = Batman symbol.
Yeah.
This is a fallacious and illogical argument from the outset.
Yeah.
I can tie a string to your toe and pull it around as if you were a puppet, but that doesn't mean that you can't decide to move that same toe on your own through conscious intention translated into your human body through your brain.
What does that have to do with anything?
That isn't even a proper
That doesn't
analogy.
address what consciousness is. To point out that you could do that would not have any impact on what causes consciousness.
That's... No, it's even a shitty analogy. It doesn't make any sense as an analogy to the, the brain being stimulated electrically. Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, but is he actually proposing in that analogy that that we can use that we can move our bodies in 2 ways, through this electrochemical way and the force?
That would actually be a step up from
what's the video mark? What's the video mark?
12 minutes and there's 45 of it. Oh. Right, let's carry on. I've got a bottle of whiskey over there I'm going to run for soon, so...
The mind, you see, works by being translated through the brain, which is a biological organ. The brain, in turn, controls the physical body. But artificially inducing a muscle movement through the electrical stimulation of the brain, or the muscles themselves, only proves that there is a biological component to our existence. Not...
Right, I'm going to bring up something here. And that is, it's like it's Matt Dillahunty who's brought this up a lot on the Atheist Experience, and that is, show me a mind that exists without a brain. Before we can go any further with what he's proposing.
Yeah.
Can anyone do... No one's been able to do that.
Or, hell, I would settle for, can you explain how it would work?
Yeah.
And I mean, can you present a theoretical mechanism for how a mind could exist without a brain or anything the equivalent of a brain?
Yeah. Can you give me a second? We have someone wanting to join the show here. I think we need...
Why would anyone want to join? Oh, it's Pumpkin.
Yeah, I think we need Pumpkin.
Well, he's nuts anyway, so...
Yeah. We need him to counterbalance it. Hello, Pumpkin.
Oh, hello.
We need you here. We really need you in this. We're losing the plot.
Oh, you need me?
Yeah.
Damn right you need me, bitches.
Right. Shall we carry on?
Yes.
Yeah, my body is prepared.
Not that the biological component is the entirety of our being. For example, if you capture my remote-controlled helicopter, you can easily cause the rotor motor to turn by applying electrodes to the motor's contact points. But I can also control those same motors on the helicopter by broadcasting a command signal from my controlling device located some distance away. Your ability to artificially induce motor activity through the use of electrodes does not disprove an internal, even an invisible, command link to the same hardware. The only thing the brain stimulation experiment demonstrates...
We could detect it in the machine. We'd be able to detect the command signal coming in through the... Oh, God.
Or, and here's just a wild thought, you could turn the receiver off. The horror of it all. What the fuck is this guy smoking? I want a lot of it.
I don't want any of it, to be honest, if this is where it leads to.
Oh no, I'm one of those people that when I get stoned or high to any extent, I don't follow the, oh my god, they're out to get me. I'm just like, hey, the walls are melting.
Right, shall we carry on? No, but we have to.
Demonstrates is that the hardware of the human brain can be artificially stimulated. Well, that's not surprising. It says nothing about the software, or possibly even the computing cloud that is also capable of driving that hardware through free will. By Hawking's argument, the fact that a doctor can hammer your knee and cause a literal knee-jerk reaction somehow bolsters the false belief that we have no consciousness or free will. It is a base...
It doesn't say that we don't have consciousness.
Is he literally making the argument that he says that you hit the knee and it bounces, therefore no free will? Because if he is, someone hit him with a brick. a big
right in the face.
Brick.
I just
like, not like a small brick, not a Lego brick. I mean like a big cinder block just smashed down on top of his head. Because that is the only cure for this level of retardation.
Shall we carry
something
on?
that I have always wanted to say to every moron who starts talking about free will, define free will and propose a method to distinguish between free will and just plain will. Good luck.
Free will, you can do more or less what you want. Will is the measure of your mana. It's used for casting spells.
That's probably the most sensible thing we've heard.
And if you upgrade it enough, you get some blue lines that go through your character.
Let's
Bitchin'.
Okay.
Argument.
I applaud you for
Lest
that
you
one.
think I am misinterpreting Hawking's conclusion on this matter, he sums it all up nicely with this statement. It is hard to imagine how free will can operate if our behavior is determined by physical law. So it seems that we are no more than biological machines, and that free will is just an illusion. I couldn't explain it any more plainly. Like the majority of conventional physicists, Hawking believes we are deterministic robots who lack free will, consciousness, and anything you might call a mind.
That we lack consciousness, you idiot.
Where on earth is he getting the no consciousness and mind thing?
I would like to, play devil's advocate here. When you've had a lot to drink and you pass out, you do lose consciousness.
True.
But
that's not what he means.
Yes.
I know, it's called a joke. I make them occasionally, they're always shit. But what I'm getting at is, if this guy's argument is, okay, look what Stephen Hawking said while talking about, the biochemistry of this, even though he's a physicist, because, that's not important. If his entire argument is, look what this physicist said about brains and biochemistry, I could easily say, look what the duck says in relation to the cow.
Yeah.
Oh, shall we carry on?
I've only just joined and I don't want to.
This belief, as you will soon see, is a very dangerous belief. It has huge implications for the very way we value life on our planet and throughout the universe.
No.
The dangerous philosophy of determinism. Determinism is an extremely dangerous philosophy because, by definition, it absolves people from all responsibility for their own actions.
No.
If you believe in...
Okay, I'm not so up to speed on the philosophy. What is determinism, actually? Can anyone answer that?
Well, essentially that we don't have a choice.
Okay, that's all right then.
No, it doesn't mean that we aren't responsible. If I have a personality and a background that leads me to commit a murder, then I am a threat to society. And that means put me away. Okay?
All right. And I'm going to guess he's going to Godwin law at some point. Because whenever I hear dangerous philosophies, I know Godwin's just round the corner.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we make this entertaining, because it's already horrifying? Why don't we try and make a game out of it? We'll each take a rough estimate of how long it will take before he hits Godwin's Law, and this is both a measurement of time and just, you know, how much he's talking, like 4 sentences, which could take either 10 seconds or a minute. I'm gonna say 3 sentences, maybe 2 minutes.
Okay, I'll go with maybe 5 sentences at about 4 minutes.
I think 10 sentences in 6 minutes.
I have no idea. I think I'm gonna go with 5 sentences and 2 minutes.
Okay, everyone, keep count for us.
Okay, and now that we all know our distances, you need to remember, as soon as he says it, we all need to drink something very alcoholic really quickly. That's the fun part.
In determinism, you are logically forced to believe there is no such thing as a criminal, because those who choose to commit violent crimes are merely biochemical robots who pursue such actions through no fault of their own. They can't help
And we label those people
Determinism
criminals.
is the magic get-out-of-jail-free card sought by every defense attorney who is trying to get his murderous client declared innocent. The frequently invoked plea of insanity, of course, is a classic citation of brain-based determinism.
No,
it seeks to absolve the criminal of his actions based on the idea that he did not have...
Does he not realize that if you plead insanity, that's not saying, let me free, it's not my fault I kill people? Does he not realize that the only difference between pleading insanity and just pleading guilty to murder is, if you plead guilty to murder, you just go to prison and you get ass raped by a guy called Bubbles. But if you plead insanity, you get put into an insane asylum and you get drugged by a big scary person called Jim, who possibly also ass raped you.
Alright, we shall carry on.
Having a presence of mind in committing those crimes in the first place. He was not, in essence, self-aware. His criminal actions were merely the result of biochemical cause and effect, his lawyers would argue.
That doesn't contradict self-awareness.
Okay, can Mike pull up a single example of where a lawyer has argued that?
No, because he is, as the saying goes, full of the shit.
Now, Hawking believes we are all effectively qualified for that same plea of insanity. Because in his mind, we are all deterministic biochemical robots.
But we are not all insane, like you are.
No consciousness, no soul, and therefore no responsibility for our current actions. But what about future actions? If we are biochemical machines, it would seem that we could be held accountable to pre-crime. Because, as Hawking states...
No, just fucking no. You can go
So we're going Minority Report.
I just want to say that I know what he's trying to say, and even in the little scenario he's made, that doesn't make sense. I can go through my computer's hard drive with a fine-tooth comb and find nothing that would lead you to think that I watch porn on a regular basis, and that I'm going to in the next 10 minutes.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. You can't predict what's going to happen. At best, you could make an estimate based on previous scenarios, but usually in that case, if what you're trying to get at is someone being brutally murdered, if you're using previous scenarios of a specific individual that you've already identified, you're a shitty policeman and you should just retire. Because if you already know they're killing people, then you should arrest them.
If we knew the complete molecular state of someone's brain today, we could perfectly predict every thought and action they would take in the future.
No, because chaos theory prevents that.
And also...
there's a limit to the accuracy a measurement can be made, and this is such a complex system that even the tiny quantum fluctuations that we simply cannot measure because of, the uncertainty principle.
Can I?
We have an inaccurate measurement, and that means the inaccuracies will just increase exponentially over time, and there's no way to make an accurate prediction. It is impossible.
Also, even if we did have the perfect map without any kind of flaws, what's going to happen if someone gets hit on the head, wakes up too early, drinks too much, stares at the TV, falls down a flight of stairs, or just generally does something that either increases or decreases the number of, synapses in the brain? Then your map's fucked.
Alright, shall we carry on, guys?
Yeah.
Thus, by accurately assessing someone's brain today with a brain scan, for example, technology could pinpoint exactly who would commit a future act that would break society's laws. That person could therefore be arrested for having the present state of mind that doctors claim would lead to future crime. This leads to an absurd ethical contradiction, which means that people aren't responsible for their present actions, but they can be held accountable for future actions they haven't even committed. Such is the distortion of determinism. But the belief that human beings lack souls or consciousness is dangerous for a far more serious reason. It can provide a scientific basis for the commission of heinous crimes against humanity, including genocide. From Hawking's point of view of soulless determinism, there is no reason why the United Nations, for example, can't reduce regional overpopulation by simply committing genocide against human beings through population reduction programs. Because humans aren't real people with souls and consciousness, the poisoning of them does not violate any real ethical boundaries, according to that line of thinking.
This
is not an outlandish scenario. Currently, the United States Department
of all, humans aren't real people because we don't have souls. Okay, when was it established that real people have souls?
Yeah, I don't believe that people have souls, but that doesn't, I'm not going to run down the street carrying a machete and machine gunning everything in sight. Because I have a conscience.
Yeah, I don't respect the right for souls to exist. I respect the right for humans to exist, okay? Whether humans have souls or not, which I don't believe. I don't believe there is such a thing as a soul. I don't even understand what a soul is.
Definition of a soul, something gingers don't have.
You've just condemned the whole nation of Ireland there, Pumpkin.
Yeah, fuck them. They petrol bomb my house every Tuesday anyway.
And you do the same to them on Wednesday.
Without fail.
of Agriculture, the USDA, operates a mass avian euthanasia program in the United States called Bye Bye Blackbird.
What?
Under that program, the USDA poisons literally millions of birds each year and engages in the routine extermination of cougars, falcons, owls, foxes, beavers, wild pigs, and other animals. This is all carried out under the presumption that animals have no consciousness, and thus murdering them is of no ethical consequence. If the United States government already engages in the murderous management of animal species that it perceives as becoming too populous, then by extension, the same approach to managing human populations would quite easily be justified under a philosophical belief that human beings are mere biological animals too. This is just one of the many reasons why this idea...
Well, of course we're animals. We eat.
And we share a common ancestor with the animals.
For fuck's sake.
I believe it's time to kill guest chat.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been trying to, but only the show owner can do it. Apologies to all non-cuntish guests, but Mr. Pelvic Thrust has ruined it all for you.
And don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good old pelvic thrust, but that's just sad.
How did you know I suck cock?
Right, I'll carry on, because I don't can't remember the chat commands exactly, so carry on while I
that
sort
human
it.
beings are mindless machines with no consciousness or free will is the perfect pretext for the mass killing of human beings by any government that embraces this thinking. That's one of the many reasons why Hawking is such a dangerous person. The wrongness of his ideas are only matched by the influence of his writings. The very fact that he is so widely respected is what makes his ideas so potentially dangerous, because at any point a government could latch on to his human beings are not conscious philosophy and commit heinous genocidal acts while calling it all scientific and clutching Hawking's books as if they were Bibles. Adolf Hitler would have welcomed such a philosophy, of course.
Godwin's law has been broken.
He built up to it. He went round it. I mean, he went for eugenics and things like that first, and I thought he was going to go to 9/11 and things like that, maybe. Or maybe vaccines.
It's probably coming.
Vaccines will be on the way soon.